Hey folks, what's going on? So it's a couple days after Thanksgiving, and I'm sitting here hanging out in my room. I'm gonna watch Walking Dead later on, and maybe even catch something on Netflix before that. I've been watching a whole series of The X-Files. Yeah, that's it. I'm almost done, so probably finish it up this week sometime. Excuse me. I just finished reading all 3 books in the Hunger Games. That was pretty interesting. It's not my usual style of reading, it's kind of fantasy, sci-fi-ish a little bit, but there's a pretty good story in there. So, if you wonder what it's about, check it out. It's pretty good. Pretty laid back today, just kind of kicking it back and not doing much. I did go out. I ran down to Michael's, because I had to get more yarn because I'm making something bigger than, this is going to be an Afghan for my niece and her boyfriend, and it's going to have, I have another section right here. My loom is only this wide. That's the biggest one of the long looms, or I don't know what they call them. Rectangles, rounds, something like that. Anyway, it's the biggest one, so I'll have to do it in segments and sew it together. But I'm also putting kind of a beigey yellow color in between, so it'll have a little extra color to it. About a little over halfway done with the second segment there. I think it's going to take 3 of those panels, and then the other color that I'm putting in. And what just fell? Oh, my tool. My little hooky tool just fell off the desk here. So anyway, yeah, I've been I got to 100 on the hats I was making for donating. So I got to that number I was looking for. I've been doing some scarves just when I pick up a skein or 2 of the cheaper yarn. I'll do what I can. Usually I can find those big, almost 1 pound things for a pretty decent price. And if I go to Michael's or Joann's, they honor each other's coupons, so I can get them at a good deal. And what I just bought for this, I'll show you, is, and I accidentally tore the label off when I put it in the cart, but it's a big boy. So, yeah, that's like 850 yards a yarn or something near that. Anyway, so, yeah, hopefully that'll should be enough to finish it. I'm not sure. I have, besides what is on the loom, I have like several more that I've already wound up on the yarn winder. Let's see, what else was I going to tell you about? Oh, that game that Rock was talking about, that Tammy's son told her about on her phone or her iPad or something. It's available on the Android market, and it's called Curiosity What's in the Cube. And Tammy did a really good job of showing it and explaining it. So if you can get her videos, I recommend it. But basically, I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. Oh, it's going to zoom in for you. No, I don't want you to zoom in. I want you to go back to small, small, small. It's a cube. Better? Yeah, that's okay. And there's a picture. And then you zoom in, and where the red is the top, the layer that's on top right now, and you just touch those little pixels and they go away, and there's so many layers, and then at the very end something's going to happen, and only one person supposedly is going to get to see it. So, should be interesting. I get kind of bored with it pretty easily, because when I zoom in, it's not zooming in where I want it to zoom in. I want it to zoom in like where I touch it, and it's going like just to the center, and so I have to search for like where I'm working on knocking out all the pixels. So that's kind of annoying sometimes, but you know, whatever, it's fine. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you about. Last night after dinner, I let the dogs outside, and that's, you know, pretty typical. I was sitting here by the back door, waiting for them to be ready to come back in, and the backyard is fenced, and the fence opening, the holes in the fence are not very big, and so usually if anything gets in the yard, it's going to be something pretty small, or it's going to come over the fence, which the raccoons and things like that will come over the fence, or, you know, birds will fly in and such. But, you know, other cats and, you know, maybe non-climbing animals in the yard. Somebody said they saw a rabbit come through. It had to be a small, like, half-grown rabbit, because those openings are just not big enough for a full-grown rabbit to go through, unless they can do with their body what, you know, mice can do with theirs. Anyway, so I was sitting here waiting on the dogs to come in, and I heard them barking like crazy, and so I went to see what was going on, and about that time I heard this horrible screech noise, and I thought, oh great, there's a raccoon in the backyard or something like that, and I can't, how am I going to get it, you know, them off of it and not get injured myself and all that kind of thing. And so I flip the back light on and I look out, and there's this cat, and I've never seen this cat in the neighborhood, but there's this white cat with black spots on it, or patches on it, and the dogs are both standing there barking, and the cat's all, you know, standing like that, and they're barking and going toward it. And so I went out to get the Dalmatian, because the lab listens pretty good about coming back, you know. But the Dalmatian is very strong-willed, as they are. So I had to go out and grab him by the collar and drag him back in the house. And then I went back to get the lab, and she still had kind of the cat. Well, when I went to get the Dalmatian, I couldn't get to him quick enough. They chased the cat into a corner, and it was like, and I thought the cat was going to be dead when I got to it, because it sounded so awful. So I finally got him off of the cat, or away from the cat. He wasn't like holding it or anything when I got to it. And I dragged him in the house. I went back out there, and Daisy, the lab, still was barking at the cat. The cat was still in the corner. My fence is wire. The neighbor's fence is wood privacy fence. And so I just called Daisy and told her to come on in, and so she came in the house. So I went back out, and I watched the cat climb the part of the wood fence, and I couldn't see any blood coming anywhere off of that cat, because it was white, and I would have been able to see it, unless it was on the other side of its body. But when it jumped up, I didn't see anything on its underside, or anything on its face, or anything like that. When I got in the house, the Dalmatian was bloody as could be. And there was blood on my pants, and there was blood on the door, and so I dragged him into the bathroom and started checking him, and that dog's mouth is so tore up, and his nose so tore up, and he's got a place in his ear where the cat ripped all the way through, on the flap hanging down on his ear. And because, you know, on his ear it was bleeding pretty good, and he shook it around, so it was everywhere. So I was cleaning blood up all over the place. And he didn't want any part of being cleaned up, you know. So I'm like trying to get it off his back and off of his other parts of his body where he's not bleeding from, but I was trying to see where it was coming from. So, you know, he had it on his back, and he had it on his face, and on his, you know, ears, and his neck, and on me, and what a mess. But I finally got him all cleaned up and taken care of, and You know, Daisy didn't really get that close to the cat, so I wasn't really paying attention to her. But today I see on the side of her nose she's got a scratch. So she must have dove in there before I got outside to rip apart the craziness of it all. But, so then today, well, after that all calmed down, he got all cleaned up and everything, they wanted back outside, of course. So I put him on a lead, I took him back out in the fenced yard, flipped the light on. The cat's not anywhere to be seen, you know. Not going to come back, I'm pretty sure. So I let him sniff all around where it was, and he's totally calmed down and fine. So he comes back in. So before bed, I go to let him out. He won't go out. I got to drag him outside on the lead, bring him back in. Today, go to let him out in the morning. He doesn't want any part of it. He's like looking around. He is such a big chicken. He's a big old chicken boy. Buddy. Sebastian. Yeah, he's not going to move. He's tired. He had a rough day. Yesterday. Anyway, so he seems to be fine today. Other than not wanting to go out. But a little while ago after dinner I let him out. He went right out. No problem. But I thought he was going to turn into a big chicken dog. But he's cool now. So, and I'll watch it to make sure that injuries don't get any kind of infection in them, and if they do, then I'll have to call the vet. But so far, it looks like everything's healing up okay. I put some triple antibiotic ointment on it, so it would help, you know, take care of any cruddy, dirty stuff that might get in there. So, anyway, I thought that was a wild story. I was thinking to myself, it's a good thing I was home. Because if my roommate had been the only one here and let the dogs out and that was going on, the cat would probably be dead and he would be shredded. And I love cats, but my dogs have never been around them, so they don't really know how to act with them. And I'm allergic, so it's not likely I'll have one. So anyway. This is going on too long, and I just wanted to hop on and say a couple of things. So I will talk to you all later. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. You're having a good couple of days after, and rest of the weekend. Of course, it's over now, so enjoy your week. Bye.